Have you ever had a gut feeling that someone wasn't telling the truth, but couldn't quite explain why? What if we told you that liars give themselves away through small, almost invisible signs? According to psychology, deception isn't just about what people say, it's about how they say it, how they act, and the subtle cues they can't control. In this video, we're going to reveal 6 tiny, psychological signs that often expose a liar, even when their words seem convincing. These aren't your typical cliches. We're diving into scientifically backed cues, behavioral patterns, and subconscious signals that trained professionals use to detect deception. By the end, you'll know what to look for, so you never get fooled again. Let's dive in. Why people lie. Before we explore the signs, let's quickly understand why people lie in the first place. Lying is a universal behavior. From little white lies to major fabrications, people lie for many reasons: to protect themselves, to gain an advantage, to avoid punishment, or to impress others. Psychologists say that lying takes more mental effort than telling the truth. That's because a liar has to invent a false narrative, remember it accurately, monitor your reaction, control their own behavior, and avoid giving themselves away. All this cognitive load leads to involuntary body language and speech patterns. And that's where you can catch them. The 6 tiny signs of a liar. Let's break down the 6 tiny but powerful signs that someone might be lying to you. Sign number 1, microexpressions that flash for less than a second. Microexpressions are rapid, involuntary facial expressions that reveal a person's true emotions before they can mask them. These fleeting expressions can last just 1/25th of a second, and most people miss them entirely. For example, someone might say they're happy, but a quick flash of fear crosses their face. Pretend to be confident, but show a momentary smirk of contempt. Claim innocence, but a flicker of guilt appears in their eyes. Dr. Paul Ekman, a pioneer in emotion research, showed that even trained spies and FBI agents use micro-expressions to catch liars. Pay attention to the corners of the mouth, the eyebrows, the eyes, and forehead movements. The truth often shows itself for just a split second before the mask returns. Sign number 2, delayed or unnatural reactions. Truthful emotional reactions are usually instant and spontaneous. Liars, on the other hand, often react a second too late or too soon because they're performing, not responding. Imagine someone receives surprising news. A genuine surprise would cause wide eyes, raised brows, and a gasp immediately. But a liar may try to mimic that response, and they'll be just a fraction of a second late. Or they might smile before delivering sad news, because they're focused on managing your perception, not sharing authentic emotion. Timing is everything. Psychology tells us that when emotional expression doesn't match the timing of the situation, it may be a red flag. Sign number 3, too much or too little eye contact. We often think that liars avoid eye contact, but many liars know this stereotype, and they try too hard to maintain it. This leads to 2 types of eye behavior. Too little eye contact, avoiding your gaze, blinking too much, or looking down or away. Too much eye contact, staring intensely, almost as if to convince you they're telling the truth. The key is the extremes. Truthful people maintain a natural rhythm of eye contact, occasionally looking away to think, pausing and returning the gaze. Liars are often too rigid or too shifty. Psychological studies show that eye contact lasting more than 10 seconds at a time, especially during emotional or defensive moments, may signal deception. Sign number 4, repeating the question or over-explaining. Liars often need time to think. They're constructing a false story and making sure it sounds believable. To buy time, they might repeat the question you just asked, ask you to clarify something obvious, or go into unnecessary details. For example, you ask, "Where were you last night?" They respond, "Where was I last night?" I was at Jake's house, yeah. We had dinner around 7:30 or 8, I think. Then we watched a movie. I left around maybe 11, I think. This over-explanation isn't always a lie, but when it's paired with other signs, it's a clue. Psychology research has shown that truth-tellers usually give shorter, more direct answers. Liars often feel the need to sound convincing, so they overdo it. Sign number 5. Inconsistent body language and words. When someone is telling the truth, their body language aligns with their words. When someone is lying, their body may betray them. For example, they say, "I'm confident," but they cross their arms or hunch their shoulders. They say, "I'm not nervous," but their foot is tapping or their hand is shaking. They say, "I'm happy for you," but they frown or purse their lips. This is called nonverbal leakage, and it happens because it's hard to control your body when your emotions don't match your story. Psychologists call this a congruency test. Do their words match their physical signals? Incongruence is often a subconscious indicator of deception. Sign number 6. Subtle changes in voice and breathing. When people lie, their body enters a mild stress response, even if they're good at hiding it. This can lead to changes in pitch. Their voice may go higher or lower, throat clearing or swallowing due to dry mouth from anxiety, faster breathing, often slight but noticeable, longer pauses or hesitations. These vocal clues are tiny, but they can add up. A study published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that liars tend to have longer response latencies, more speech errors, and more vocal tension. If someone sounds different than they usually do, especially under pressure, it could be a sign they're being deceptive. Bonus psychological cues to watch for. While the 6 signs we just explored are powerful, here are a few bonus micro-clues that often show up in deceptive behavior. Touching the face or neck, a self-soothing behavior under stress. Shrugging shoulders while making strong claims shows lack of conviction. Grooming gestures like fixing hair or adjusting clothing, which may signal nervousness. Directional eye movement. Some theories suggest liars look up and to the right, creating, rather than up and to the left, recalling. Though this is debated, sudden change in tone or energy, a drop in enthusiasm, or a shift in volume can betray discomfort. No single sign proves someone is lying, but multiple indicators clustered together should raise your awareness. How to spot lies more effectively. Here are a few tips to improve your lie detection skills. 1. Establish a baseline. Observe how the person acts when they're comfortable and telling the truth. That becomes your baseline for normal behavior. 2. Watch for clusters, not isolated signs. One sign doesn't mean they're lying. Look for multiple signals happening at once or in sequence. 3. Ask open-ended questions. Liars struggle with unpredictable questions. Truthful people can elaborate freely. Liars may trip up or get defensive. 4. Stay neutral. Don't accuse or confront too early. People lie more when they feel judged. Stay curious and observant instead. 5. Listen deeply. Focus on not just what they say, but how they say it, their tone, pace, and comfort level. 6. Trust your instincts, but verify with evidence. Intuition can be powerful, but don't jump to conclusions without clear patterns. What to do if you think someone is lying. If you suspect someone is lying, here are a few ways to respond constructively. Stay calm. Reacting emotionally may make the liar shut down or dig in deeper. Ask for clarification. Politely ask them to go over the story again. Inconsistencies may emerge. Let silence work. Sometimes, a pause or prolonged eye contact can prompt the person to correct or add to their story. Don't accuse directly unless you have proof. Instead, express concern or curiosity. For example, "That doesn't quite add up. Can you walk me through that again?" Protect yourself. If lying is part of a pattern, especially manipulation or gaslighting, consider setting boundaries or distancing yourself. Remember, the goal is not to win or confront someone, but to protect your peace, your relationships, and your sense of reality. Final thoughts. So there you have it, the 6 tiny signs that liars often reveal without even knowing it. 1. Microexpressions. 2. Delayed or unnatural reactions. 3. Unusual eye contact. 4. Repeating or over-explaining. 5. Inconsistent body language. 6. Voice and breathing changes. These signs are rooted in psychological research and human behavior, and when used wisely, they can help you spot dishonesty before it hurts you. But remember, not everyone who shows these signs is lying. Context matters, patterns matter, and empathy matters. Use this knowledge not to become cynical, but to become aware, to protect your intuition, and to engage with others from a place of clarity and strength. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more psychology-based insights. And remember, the truth always leaves a trail. You just have to know where to look.